we good? Good. I'd like to thank David and Ricky for that wondrous display of smoke and lighting, because I think we've all wanted to know what a comedy gig looks like inside a block of dry ice. Also, I'd like to point out the slightly more worrying connotation of that is that the room could be filled with huge clouds of smoke and none of the alarms have gone off. So keep your wits about you. This could go horribly wrong. That's all I'm saying. So hi, I'm Reuben. I'm pleased to be here. It's a lovely thing. In fact, I know you guys probably done enough cheering, but can I get a woo? Woo! Can I get a yeah? Yeah! Can I get a hip hop, the hip top pop, the rock, don't stop until the bang bang boogie, set up, jump the boogie to the rhythm with the boogie the beat? No. That's fair enough. Too bad, yeah, you know. It was worth a shot. How good would it have been if it worked, though? You only have yourselves to blame. Yes, I'm Reuben, and I stay awake at night thinking about really stupid things. Like, I was thinking the other night, is the plural of dubstep dubstairs? And assuming that is the case, does that make an album of dubstep songs a flight of dubstairs? And assuming the first two things are true, is that why it makes so much noise every time they drop the bass? Wub, 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 wub. That's right, jokes about dubstep because I'm hip. But jokes about flights of stairs because I'm not that hip. As you can probably tell just from my general existence, my t-shirt, if you can't see it, or you probably can't see it no matter how close you are to the stage, but I'm a bit of a nerd. Are any nerds in the room? Chair? Yeah! Good, otherwise this was going to be a really quiet 10 minutes. Just to check, I should go for the people who didn't cheer, presumably the cool people. There's a thing that you probably haven't heard of it being cool, but there's sort of a hierarchy for nerds. Like currently, what with video games being the biggest entertainment medium in the world, sort of the video game nerds are at the top, and then just below them, because of the Avengers and Batman and stuff like that, there's the comic book nerds. But then below them, you've got the ones who don't really go out in the daylight. Like just below, you've got the trading card people. So you've got your Magic the Gathering and your Yu-Gi-Oh. Oh dear. And then just below them, you've got your Games Workshop people. Any of them make it in tonight? No, I figured they wouldn't because, you know, it's outside and there might be girls. But just below them are the LARPers. Now, if you don't know what LARPing is, it stands for live action role playing, which is the people who love Lord of the Rings and things like that so much that they want to, you know, put on stupid fake pointy ears and run around in a field pretending to hit each other with plastic swords. Like they are, like even in terms of nerds, they are. Oh, there's someone's laughing very hard down the front. Is that because you or? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh dear. It was all going. I'm sorry. Oh dear. I probably shouldn't finish the rest of this bit, should I? I'm going to move swiftly onwards. Yeah, but I'm quite a big nerd. I'm mostly in the first two categories, thank goodness. Sorry. Dear. Yeah, no, I'm mostly in the first two categories. Like, I really like video games. Like, people like video games. That's most people. Is that Xbox? Give me a chair. Yeah. PlayStation, give me a chair. Yeah. Okay, more PlayStation. I've got both of those and a gaming PC. And I'm not saying it makes me better than you, but it makes me better than you. No, I like video games, but it's kind of the reason I have admittedly it's a PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, so I admit I'm a little bit out of date. But the reason I have those is because I decided a little while ago if I was going to die alone, I might as well do it with a full HD setup. So I've got my Blu-ray player and my big telly, and you know I don't go outside much if I'm brutally honest. But yeah, I'm okay, good. Sorry, it was a faint chitter of laughter, and I felt like we should all wait for go catch up. Cool, moving on. Yeah, but I'm a nerd, and that's okay. Like I like being a nerd, but it gets a bit awkward because it's always the worst sort of the worst examples of people who like certain things that get represented, like video games. Like I love video games, like they're one of my favorite things in the whole world. But the one thing I can't stand is the biggest game franchise in the world is Call of Duty. I can't stand it, and I know it's quite a popular thing. I only really have two problems with Call of Duty, and they're minor things. They're just the people who play it and the game itself. Little things. But the reason I don't like the people who play the game is that you'll know if you ever played a video game online, it's just an endless torrent of racist, misogynistic, homophobic abuse. And if I wanted that, I'd go outside. And the reason I don't like the game itself is because it's just. Oh, it's fine. What? Oh, I'm just pissing off the whole front row tonight, aren't I? Can't win. Just to check, are you four in the middle racist? Because otherwise the next bit of the set's going to feel really long. Admittedly, I feel like the racists might be okay to piss off, but generally speaking. The reason I don't like Call of Duty is people just go on about how realistic it is. Like, it's so realistic, it's incredibly realistic, but it's not realistic at all, is it? Like, let's take into account a few things that happen in Call of Duty, and we can just debunk that thing once and for all. So, first of all, I don't know about you lovely people, but when I get shot, I bleed heavily and then I die. And I put on red sunglasses and lie down till I feel better. Second thing, there's a point in one of the Call of Duty games where your main character gets stabbed in the chest with a knife, and he pulls the knife out of his chest and throws it into the eye of the man who stabbed him. Now, if I had a penny for every time that happened to me, I would have actually about 17p. I'm from a quite rough... Oh, shit, it's happening again. No, I'm from quite a rough area in North London called Tottenham, which you may have heard of now because it's quite famous for being on fire. But the reason I don't sound like I come from Tottenham is that my parents read The Guardian. So I sound like this. I listen to Radio 4. I just love hummus. And I don't mind being a nerd. Like it kind of makes things awkward in sort of the going out part. Like I don't really like going out and doing stuff and talking to people. And you guys are okay. Just, piss everyone off. No, you guys are okay. But I just mean generally, people as a species, we don't acquit ourselves very well, do we? Like I did like popular music at the moment is not a great thing to represent. Like if aliens found us and they listened to our radio stations, they'd all think we were dickheads. Like my personal level of hatred for this is the song Blurred Lines. You've probably heard of it. It's the one that goes, I know you want it, stop lying, get in the van, that one. But the reason I don't like, part of the reason I don't like it is that its music video famously has quite a lot of like mostly naked women in it. And I'm not objecting to the concept of naked women. I think that's fine. I'm all in favour of that. I just mean, generally speaking, like it's quite unfair that the amount of naked women to fully clothed men, like the ratio just seems off if we're living in an equal society. Woo, yeah, preach. But the only way I can see that we can reverse this is equality has to mean everyone or no one, right? So either everyone is naked in music videos or no one is naked in music videos. And I don't really want to see Reuben fix penis. But I feel like in a just society, it's the only thing we can responsibly do. But I did. Speaking of feminism and things, I did something recently. They say uni is a time for going out and trying new things and new experiences and all that kind of stuff. I did something recently. I'm not really proud of it, but I did do it. I know lots of you have probably done it at some point or another. I read a copy of The Sun. And, I know, I felt dirty as soon as I was done with it. It was awful. But the thing that surprised me the most was page 3. And not the topless women. Like, I didn't know it was there. It wasn't just open and, boobs! It wasn't like that. But it was more the fact that supposedly there's a little text box in the top corner of the page. Because supposedly the women on page 3 have opinions. Like, I'm sure they do in real life, but for some reason, there's always a little caption, talking about generally the story that's on page 1 or page 2. And what surprised me the most about this is the realization that those opinions are probably some of the most sensible in the whole newspaper. It's as if some journalist at The Sun with just a little bit of credibility has gone, guys, what if we didn't just produce an entire magazine full of shit and hate mongering? And the editors have gone, well, you can, but you have to slap some tits on it just so it's okay. So, I mean, balance, I guess. I don't know. So I've been single for quite a while. Ladies. Nope. It's fair enough. There's a cloud of mist in the room, and even so, nope. That's fair enough. Like, I mean, it's okay, but I'm in third year in my university now. I'm in. Wait, who's in third year? Anyone? Oh, thank God, because you know what it's like. Like first years, just fuck off. Like, it's like, I know university students, we get a lot of shit for being childish and lazy and not doing anything. But I've realised now, third year, I have started to spend my time the same way I spent it when I was a child, which is just alternating between naps and crying. But like, the worst part about it is my housemates. Like, they are just unbearable. I can't, and there's two of them. And they are the most horrible people ever. Like, they go out every weekend. It's without fail, it's terrible. Like, it was last weekend, Saturday night, I was asleep. And it was like 4 a.m, and they came barreling through the front door and thundered down the hallway and clattered down the kitchen, and they were smashing plates and setting fire to things and fuck knows what. But I got up and I came downstairs and I was just like, for the love of God, it's 4 a.m. I've got like shit tons of essays to write. For the love of God, Mum, Dad, just stop it. I should add the qualifier to that yeah, I'm one of those uni students who made the unwise decision to stay at home. Because in theory it seemed like a good idea, but I'm quickly realising all the money I will have saved by living at home I'm going to have to spend on a lawyer at my parents' murder trial. I mean, they're not that bad, like, generally, but I mean, like, my mum is, well, she's what the rest of the family refers to as a bit of a character, which I think we all know means a bit of a nutter. Like, we live in Leicester, and obviously Leicester, as I'm sure you all know, is quite a multicultural place, and it's quite opening and welcoming and friendly. But of course, as a result of that, racists don't really like it very much, and they come here and they protest and they throw things and they do whatever it is they do. I don't know, I'm usually inside. But, well, my mum had this idea. Last time the EDL came to protest in Leicester, what she said we should do is we should all, the family should just get a big sign saying, send them back where they came from, go to the train station, because obviously they're coming to where we live, but they don't like immigrants. Like, I grant you, not the best idea in the world, but it gets worse. Because what my mum failed to take into account is the fact that she is white. And so any white person, on the day of an EDL rally, with a big sign saying, send them back where they came from. She didn't look like an insightful political activist so much as she just looked a bit lost. Right, I think... Yeah, I've been here for nearly long. So I'll tell you this last thing. So I went through a bit of a life change recently. I finally got a girlfriend. So all the women in the room very pleased. No, it's fine. Like, it's great, and she's lovely and stuff. But it's kind of awkward because I'm not really sure how to act. I'm not really sure how to conduct myself. And like, it was really nerve-wracking. So the first time I met all of her housemates, it was about 7 o'clock in the evening, so it was dinner time. And so they're all cooking, and if there's one time you don't want to meet all of your potential other half's best friends, it's when they're all armed to the teeth. But, you know, it's kind of, she's a lovely person, my girlfriend, but the first time I met her, I was talking to her housemates, and one of her housemates said to me, do you like cats? And I went, yeah, okay, I kind of like cats. And she went, good, you'll need to. Which is quite a worrying sign for a start. But it turns out it's just, my girlfriend has a lot of pets, and like, she has what might be described as an excessive amount of hamsters. Like, she has 6. She has 6 hamsters. That is more hamsters than any one human being could reasonably do anything with. But, yeah, and I'll fuck off and leave you with this last thing. Sex is a complicated issue, and I'm sure we're all broadly familiar with the technicality, so I shan't bore you. If not, the internet, full of it, go look it up. But the way I always used to think of sex was it was kind of like space travel, in that, in principle, it was very exciting. And if I ever got the chance, I'd definitely take it. But I was aware it probably wasn't something that was going to happen within my lifetime. So anyway, I'll leave it with that. Reuben and Seth, goodbye.